Hello, look, a box has arrived from Estarli. So let's see what's in it. So what do we have here? One new and oily stem. Well, actually it's a bit damp rather than oily, but still. So why do I need a new stem? The reason is this. If you watch this, you'll see this is the annoying noise it makes when you cycle. And now if you look at this, you'll see the movement that's in there. This is because when cycling, the force pushing up and down as you cycle, if you're cycling on really steep hills or you're doing a really fast pull away in traffic, you're putting a lot of force sort of down and up alternatively on the handlebars. And what's happened is that's caused wear. This outer body here is worn around here, so it means that although this end is clamped securely around here, this can move backwards and forwards. So there it's just making a clicking noise, but actually if you undo it, you find that there's a whole load of movement. You see it's just wobbling side to side. Now that's just going to get worse to the point where it becomes dangerous to ride. So we need to do something about that. So we have a new stem from Estarli and we'll take a look at that. So there's very slight differences on the design. This one is sleeker. You can see here, this is welded around here onto the hinge. Here it's cast in one, which I guess makes it stronger. Also, here we have this latch, this lever. It just has this rotary part to hold it in place so it doesn't accidentally drop down while you're riding. Here we've actually got a sort of like a little safety catch that does the same. And also on the old one, the screws that hold it in place, these socket head cap screws, they alternate, one on one side, one on the other. Here it's a bit neater, they're all on the same side. So I don't have to mess about with wiring and readjust things. What I'm going to do is first undo this, and then I can take the handlebars off of the stem before I replace the stem, so that I can just then lay down on the ground out of the way. What doesn't help here is I've got all sorts of things attached to here, but I should be able to do this. So if I loosen this clip here, I'm probably not going to be able to get this loose enough without taking this off. This is the mount for the GoPro, which does work very well on these modern GoPros with the stabilization. Right, we should be able to get that fully done now. I'm also going to make a note of the angle. I tend to like the brake levers down at this angle, about 45 degrees. So having taken a note of that, I'll know how to set it up again on the new stem. Right. Okay, so that moves freely, and I should be able to undo this. Oops, there we go. Notice you've got this knurled nut, but there's also a washer. Should be able to withdraw this, and you notice this cam lever, this has also got this sort of strange shaped washer on it as well. So this should just flip up now. Yep, and I can remove the handlebars. Next thing, I want to make sure I've got the same, because I like this height. I've set this to the way I ride, so I can set the new stem to the same height. That's about there. Also on the new stem, this feels a bit loose, so I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit until that feels like it's giving me a reasonable amount of force, clamping force on the... That's more like it. I don't want the stem dropping down while I'm riding. Now before I undo these big bolts, I'm going to undo the clamp, because the big bolts effectively squeeze here. So while it's clamped, this is not going to be able to release properly. Okay. Now the other thing to note when you refit this is that with the front wheel straight ahead, This unit is at about 30 degrees. The reason for that is so that it folds to the side. So you've got to make sure that this is aligned straight across when you fit the new one. Now before I undo them, I do have numbers which I'll tell you about from Estarli for the torque wrench settings here, but I just want to have an understanding for how tight that is. So what I've done is I've put this in here. This is a 6mm hex bit, and just tightened it a tiny amount by hand until it moves, just to feel how much torque needs to be put in there. And it's a reasonable amount, but it's not a huge amount. So this size of socket wrench, you don't want to be putting massive amounts of torque on it. You know, one-handed is enough. You don't want to be really leaning on that. There's also some sprung washers in here. Not you really need to know that because you're not going to be keeping these. This isn't going to go anywhere without removing this nut here. There's again a specific torque for that one. You may find that just by pulling this to one side it loosens that nut. If not, and anyway you'll need this to do it up, it's going to require a 10mm hex bit. So as you start to loosen that, you can see you start to lift this. It's not going to go around this nut, so you're going to have to take this nut off altogether. So we've got also the brass washer, and this should now lift off. There we go. So that's the old stem removed. There's also this washer. It's like a plastic, or a couple of plastic washers here. So this you're going to need to get an exact torque on it, because too tight and it's going to, I guess, compress the bearings here, and steering is going to be a problem. Now I'm not going to lift this up because then this assembly is going to try and drop out. So as I said, on the new stem, it's a nice new assembly, and you have this built-in safety catch, and you can see here, just about seeing the sunlight, that it engages with this piece. So that's a new design, so it automatically latches itself every time, so you can't forget to latch this. So that's a sort of new safety feature. If I undo this, you should be able to then open this assembly. It's a bit stiff. There we go, and that should be ready to go on here. I'm going to drop this brass ring back in. Gently do this up without forcing it. The last thing you want to do is mess up the thread on this by forcing it when it wasn't properly meshed. Now I'm going to initially tighten this up just so that this doesn't wobble around, so I'm not going to make it really tight. There you go, so I can still move the stem, which means I can lift that up and orient it properly. So I can put the handlebars back on like I did before. I'm going to unscrew this so I can hinge this completely open. There we go, there goes the washer. So with those removed, I can now open that all the way and bring these back, rest them in there. This is a bit wider than the old one, so I'm going to have to fiddle about with some of the things I had here on the handlebars because there's not currently room. So I've just slid the GoPro mount out of the way. That means I should be able to get this central now, and then flip that over. Now notice the width difference. That was the old lever, that's the new one, so it's a lot wider unit. If I was suffering from space up here, I guess I could swap them because they look like they're probably compatible. So I'll put this odd shaped washer on there first. I think the rounded bit will go to the front like that to make it look neater. Now I'll put this back on. Remember, it has got this little silver washer. Put that on carefully without dropping it. So now I can set this to the angle I want. I think that's about there actually. Tighten this up a little bit. Remember, you're not tightening this fully up. because it's the camming action of closing this that tightens the handlebars. So it's a bit loose. I'm going to give it a bit more, another quarter of a turn. I'm going to keep on doing that until this is reasonably stiff to close. I think that feels about right now. So that's the new handle, and it's quite smart, the much wider one. Anyway, the reason I've done that now, even before I've properly secured the stem at the bottom, is it means that I can see more easily if I've got this lined up correctly. So you do the old bike thing of, remember from years ago when you were a child, you get the your legs either side of the front wheel, and then you can twist the handlebars until it's lined up correctly. I think that's about it actually. Now gently open this with, very gently, without pull the cable out of the way, without changing the relative position. Just gently lean that there, because now I can tighten that a bit. And I'm going to have to hold on to this while I do this to make sure that it doesn't cause the angle of the handlebars to change. I'm not going to do this too tight because I'm going to lean the handlebars against my knee. There we go, let's try that. So it's just a little bit tight, and that now rotates quite nicely. So I want to get that done to the right torque before I screw up these two. If I have these done up, they're loose at the moment, it's going to affect the torque settings, because if this is tight, then when you tighten this, it's not going to pull this assembly down the right amount onto the lower part of the stem here. So we'll do these two afterwards. Put the reading glasses on so I can read the email from Estarli. So those two side bolts, the two hex screws, need to be 16 Newton meters of torque, but the steerer tube, that needs, which is the big central one, the big silver one, that needs a lower 13 Newton meters, and that's one you definitely want to get right. So this is where we need the torque wrench. I find it a lot easier to convert the numbers to foot-pounds first, and then just use this dial. So 13 Newton meters is 10 foot-pounds, so that's there. We're way down here from the 150 odd foot-pounds this can go up to, because obviously this is for vehicle use. So again, I'm going to brace all of this carefully so that it doesn't go out of alignment when I tighten this. So the difficulty is that 10 foot-pounds is so low on one of these torque wrenches. So 10 foot-pounds. Just put this back upright again and make sure this is straight. I think that's about right. So now we should be able to put these bolts in here, tighten those up. Now the previous bolts were a 6mm Allen key. These are a 5. So I'm just tightening the finger tight at the moment. I think this unit's steel. We've got a bit more leeway torque wise, so I'm a bit happier that I know exactly how much torque I can put on here these without it causing a problem. But we can use the torque wrench as well. I've set it to 16 foot-pounds. If you can hear that slight click, that means it's at the right torque. Because I'm used to doing up bolts, I'm just going to put this on by hand and see. Yeah, that feels about, yeah, I think that's good enough. Wouldn't want to go really much tighter than that. So now we can do this up. Should clip in place. There we go. No nasty creaking noises. That's a lot better. So I'll take it for a quick ride, see what it's like. Well, the test ride went well. No more nasty clicking noises. I'm pleased with that. And it looks good. It's a slightly nicer unit than the previous one, the way it's all cast in one piece rather than having a weld there. And this works quite well, the little safety catch, so you then know that it clicks in place, you know you've done that up properly. So yeah, that was successful and quite easy. Now you might be asking yourself, look, that failure has happened, that item's worn out after about 3,500 miles. Is that going to happen to me with my bike? Now bear in mind, I'm quite extreme in my use of this. So this is a daily commuter bike. It rides in all weathers, but more importantly, it gets used off-road. It gets used up really steep hills in places like the Lake District. So I am pushing this to the extreme. It's really like a test to see what this bike can handle. So components are going to wear. Nothing has seriously failed so far. I have worn out service components. I've also worn out one of the cranks, but that was fairly cheap to replace. Again, if you're not climbing up 1 in 5, 1 in 4 inclines, if you're using the electric assistance a lot more, you're not sort of hammering away from the lights, accelerating hard, you're not going to be putting the pressure on the bike frame that I have done in the past. So you shouldn't really expect things to wear like I've had, but if they do wear, the good thing is that they're pretty easy to replace, and as I've found with a lot of the components in the drivetrain, they're not a big price. They're often only, 10-20 pounds to replace, so it's pretty easy to do it yourself. So that's a sort of bit of a vote of confidence there. So anyway, that's set up ready for my commute into London tomorrow. All right, hope that helps you guys. Cheers.